The other desperation one tonight is the LA Clippers, as they will try to survive against the Denver Nuggets. There isn't a whole lot to break down from that game 5. Denver was just awesome. And they were awesome in the way that they need to be to win these games. Jokic is obviously best player in the world, right? We agree on that? Cool. He needs help. And this game, he got help. When Murray is firing like that, I don't want to say that's all they need, but that is really close to all they need. Is just Jokic and someone else. And the problem, like, he can do that someone else thing better than anyone else can, right? Like, if it's Christian Brown, you kind of need Christian Brown and a little bit more from Gordon or MPJ or Westbrook, right? But when it's Murray, it can just be Murray. And so he goes out there, lights it up for 40, and you can tell immediately, like, oh, this guy's not missing tonight. And he's going out there, and it's the arrow thing, and it's all that. Like, he is just on another level. And then he's taking on Kawhi defensively and all that. Like, that was the type of performance that you need from Jamal Murray. And then it starts to feed into everyone. Westbrook's hitting a 3 and he's banking 2 balls, and Brown is hitting a 3. MPJ has probably his second best game of the series, and Gordon is making some big high flying plays as well. Like, there's just a lot to get excited about on the Denver side, and it starts to kind of snowball on them. So Jokic is obviously the best player in this series, and thusly the most important. But if Denver is going to win again, it is going to be Jamal Murray, who I think has to be that next X factor that gets them there. And then, like, for the Clippers, they battled in that game. It's just they couldn't stop that. And so what do you do, right? Because the big thing is, well, let's take the ball out of Jokic's hands. Like, okay, fine. But when it's going into the hands of guys who are scoring 40, how do we stop that? And, like, you can try to challenge Murray, but he is so dangerous off the hop that he'll just blow past you and get to the rim. And then you're putting Zubats in a tough spot because you either have Jokic dragging him up high, so, okay, we're going to try to pin down with him, help out, and now we're kicking it out. And so we have willfully allowed them to give the ball to the best player in the world, or this guy has an uncontested ba-boom at the rim, and shit. You know, so this is... When they are great, they are still so tough to stop. It is just so much more has to go right for Denver to be great in that. But when they are difficult. And so aside from using a chair, I don't know what the Clippers could have done more in that one. It will be interesting, though, to see kind of how they counteract this coming up in game 6. And also it will be interesting. Well, this season, again, it's kind of a little bit like the Lakers one, but not so much, where this has gone better than expected this year for the Clippers, right? Like, one of my locks at the beginning of the year was Clippers under, because I was like, well, Kawhi's going to miss a ton of time, and it's James Harden running things. I'm sorry, I've seen that before. But James Harden kind of found the best-ish version of himself for what he can be now. And then you get a lot, like Zubats turns into an all-defensive player. Powell turns into a really strong depth piece for this team. And then Kawhi comes back and it all fits, and they turn into a very dangerous team. And so, like, on the one hand, you have seen that this still can work in a high-level way. Like, when George left, it kind of felt like they were trying to be half pregnant, where it was, we're trying to stay competitive. We have Kawhi. We have this new arena. We're trying to do something here, but we're not going to go all the way with it because we kind of know what we have. And so you're just kind of stuck as this team that's going to lose in the first round a bunch. And now they might, but it feels like there's more hope in LA with the Clippers than there was a time before. That being said, basically every playoff series the Clippers have lost in the Kawhi era, Kawhi was on the bench in street clothes at the end of it. And so it feels like a waste to have that guy playing that well still and lose out in the first round. So one of these teams is going to be very disappointed at how this series ends up based on the talent that they have. It's why it's been the best matchup in the playoffs so far, and that continues at least for one more night.